From the Dark Tower by Countee Cullen. We shall not always plant while others reap the golden increment of bursting fruit, not always countenance abject and mute, that lesser men should hold their brothers cheap. Not everlastingly while others sleep shall we beguile their limbs with mellow fruit, not always bend to some more subtle brute. We were not made to eternally weep. The night whose sable breast relieves the stark white stars is no less lovely being dark. And there are buds that cannot bloom at all in light, but crumple piteous and fall. And so in the dark we hide the heart that bleeds, and wait and tend our agonizing seeds. Okay, let's see. Countee Cullen was brought up in New York at the very end of the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century. And he's part of the Black Harlem Renaissance. This poem is about the future of black people in the United States. And it's saying that things are not always going to be that black people do the work and the white people reap the benefit of their work, and that this is going to change. So we, and here we is referring to black people as a group, and the idea of these words, not always, not everlastingly. This situation is going to change. So we shall not always plant while others reap the golden increment of bursting fruit. Okay, so it's not always going to be like this, that black people do the hard work and others, white people, take all the advantage from it. Not always countenance, so we won't always have to countenance to look at. Abject and mute, so abject being unable to do anything and mute being quiet. So we're not always going to have to watch without saying anything. That lesser men should hold their brothers cheap. So here, that lesser men, these are the racists. Yeah, so we're not always going to see racists thinking that black people are inferior, yeah, without saying anything or without doing anything. Not everlasting while others sleep shall we beguile their limbs with mellow flute. So this is not going to happen forever. While other people, they just ignore this, they don't look at it, they don't think about it. Yeah, and here I quite like this metaphor. Let's see, shall we beguile their limbs with mellow flute? So here, this is talking about making other people's lives easy, as if we were playing a flute, so that they can sleep and they can relax and they can take their time without exerting themselves. Okay, so to beguile, shall we enchant their limbs? Not always are we going to make their lives easy by doing the hard work, as if we're playing the flute while they're just relaxing. But not always bend to some more subtle brute. Okay, so we're not always going to be subject to these racist brutes. We were not made to eternally weep. Yeah, it's not right that anybody should always be crying. And yeah, we, the Afro Americans, were not made to always have a hard life, and well. And then the poem starts to change, and this next bit's a nice metaphor, saying that uh, but everything has its good qualities, and everything has situations where it's not so good. Everything has its pros and cons. So the knight whose sable breast relieves the stark white stars is no less lovely being dark. Okay, so the dark of night, yeah, the sable, this is a color, a dark color. So the night sky is a perfect contrast to the white of the stars, and the dark sky itself is not less beautiful for being dark. And here, this is clearly a metaphor between for both black and white people have their good characteristics, and we should be looking maybe at the people, not at the colour. And there are buds that cannot bloom at all in light, but crumple, piteous, and fall. Okay, so there are flowers that don't flower during the day, yeah, but they crumple, they fall to pieces and die in the heat of the day. For example, the nicotiana plant. This is a plant that flowers at night. Okay, so everything has its place in the world. So in the dark we hide the heart that bleeds. Okay, so well, while we are in this unenlightened age, then our bleeding hearts, our suffering is hidden. But we're waiting, and we look after our agonizing seeds. So these are the seeds of things to come, of greater equality in the future. So there you go. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. From the Dark Tower by Countee Cullen.